Contractors wouldn't stop calling my phone asking for someone else at a different address than me. For the past year or so, since I switched to Verizon and got a new number, I've been getting calls from contractors asking to talk to John, and they say his last name. I say, that's not me, you have the wrong number. They ask me if I live at his address and would I like to get some work done on my property. I tell them I don't live there and don't own any property. They call almost every day of the week and sometimes even on the weekend. I must have told them 100 times to put me on the do not call list, but as soon as I say that, they just hang up the phone. Sometimes they say sure. A few times the caller has been rude and said things like no matter what I do they will keep calling, and that getting unwanted calls is just something that comes with having a phone. Well, this week I started doing something different. When they call and ask me if I am John, the first say yep, that's me, and when they ask if I want some work done, I answer I sure do. Then they ask what I'm interested in having done, so I told them solar. They asked me what would be a good time to come out, and I told them around 5 would be good. That's when the traffic is worst. And they asked if my wife would be there, and I told them she sure would. 5 o'clock rolls around and I get a call from the contractor who says he has been there for 10 minutes and no one is home. I told him I had to go to the store real quick, but I'll be back in 10 minutes, and he says okay. Never heard back from him. The next day comes and no one calls, so I'm thinking hey, that worked well. But then the next day here they go calling my phone again. So this time I told them I wanted the bathrooms done. Both of them. They asked when is a good time to come by, and I told them 5 o'clock is good. They asked me to confirm the address, which I already had from the previous times they called, so I tell them what they want to hear and they tell me great, they will see me later. A couple hours go by and they call to confirm the appointment and that my wife will be there, and I said she sure will. They asked me what exactly I wanted done and I told them I was open to suggestions. Then they asked when I wanted to get started and I told them pretty soon. 5 o'clock comes and my phone rings and some guy tells me he is the general manager. He asks when the owners will be home and I tell him I'm home now. He says but I have you at a different address, and I tell him yay, that's cause I have 2 homes. He starts reading off the other address and I said yep, that's me. Then he says, so you don't know who Sandra Hayter is? And I'm like nope. Then he says, are you sure you didn't get too many calls from us and maybe didn't really want an estimate? I told him that's exactly what happened, and I told him over 50 times I'm not John and that's not my address and I don't have any property to work on. Then I hear what sounds like music to my ears. He says, well, that's why I got you in my office on my desk, because I'm going to make sure we take you off the call list, and I tell him that's great because I asked them to do that plenty of times. Well, we shall see what tomorrow brings. I'll send them to my other much bigger house that needs more work if they call again.